Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Hey guys, we're your hosts, Em and Jay, and today we want to talk about Disney's new movie, Encanto. The movie premiered last month in theaters, but it recently came to streaming, which is hopefully a good sign for movies, since that's better than the treatment that Luca received. We're going to be discussing spoilers in this video, so you might want to consider that before watching. The film takes place in Colombia, and follows a teenager named Mirabel. She's a member of the Madrigal family. When they turn 5, they go through a ritual that gives them a magical gift, in the form of a superpower, like having super strength or being able to control the weather, but for some reason Mirabel didn't get a gift, and while she isn't ostracized for it, it does cause tension between her and her family members, particularly with her grandmother. People tend to pity her to the point where they're being condescending, like saying the best way she can help is to get out of the way, or rubbing in the fact that she didn't get a gift in her face. It doesn't help that the entire town gets invited to these events when they happen, so she ended up being humiliated in front of everybody, but her little cousin Antonio gets to have his ceremony, and while everyone's celebrating his newfound power, Mirabel feels dejected, so she wanders off on her own, only to find that their house is falling apart. The house they live in is also magical, so it falling apart is very concerning. However, the rest of the family is either unaware or in denial of what's going on, so Mirabel takes it upon herself to save the magic, and she ends up uncovering family secrets, and learning how important she really is despite the fact that she doesn't have a gift, while also teaching the others that they're more than just their gift, and they shouldn't limit themselves to it. The songs in this movie were written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and they're all very fun and catchy, with some creative visuals to go along with the music. The Madrigals are kind of a big family, but each character feels unique, and they each get some time to shine. I also like how they handled family dynamics in this movie. They love each other, but they also struggle with family expectations. The grandmother went through traumatic experiences as a young woman, and is desperately trying to keep something like that from happening again, but all this responsibility takes a heavy toll, and the family is basically trying to tiptoe around these awkward conversations because they can be painful. There isn't really a villain in this movie, which works well for it, and this is a nice change from the recent Disney twist villains they've been doing. They still managed to get a pretty good villain song in there though, but instead of being sung by the villain, it's sung by the family about who they believe is the villain, but he's actually just misunderstood. It is kind of funny to think that this movie and Luca might have that connection, since they're both weirdly critical of Bruno's, but it's just a coincidence. I really liked Bruno in this movie. He's built up in the first half of the movie as a kind of sinister figure who causes all these bad things to happen and eventually abandon the family, but he's actually just awkward and thought that his gift wasn't helping the family, so it would be better if he left, which is actually really sad. Also, he didn't totally leave. He just lived between the walls the whole time, listening to the family sing about how they don't talk about him, which is even more awkward. But he and Mirabel are able to bond, and he eventually rejoins the family after Mirabel saves the magic, which was a nice way to end things. Overall, this film is a great addition to Disney's classic catalog, with great characters, a great soundtrack, along with a fun and engaging story. There's definitely a lot to like about Encanto. The only thing I would have really liked to see more of was the house itself. The casita manages to have many amazing locations, and a lot of personality. However, there were parts of the house where it wasn't alive, and couldn't move or do anything within that area. I just think it would have been nice to get a little explanation for that, because it kind of came off like it was mostly done just to add tension. I also would have liked to see more of the rooms. Once the family member gets their powers, they get their own room, which has an environment that's tailor-made to their abilities. Antonio can talk to animals, so his room is a jungle, and Isabella's is covered in plant life, and I would have loved to see more of it. Like Dolores has super hearing. What kind of room would that produce? We would highly recommend Encanto, but that's our opinion. What do you guys think? Have you seen the movie? And what did you think of it? We'd love to hear from you, so leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching, we really appreciate it. Before we go, we want to give a shout out to our members: Stutania, Tyrant Carnivore, Adam K, Shiny Orc Boy, The Rabbit Mancer, Hunter Rose, General Bolivar, Depth Charge Media, Samaru163, Gabby Hime, Sandy Martin, Verdant Range, Butcher 7 Actual, Dash Hound, JVR, Hussyman42, Nixel, Eric Griffin, Phantom of the Night, Phil C, Taylor Ramirez, Caleb Nelson, 7 Needs Coffee, and Shrike Z. Thanks so much for your support. If you'd like to become a member, you can hit the join button next to the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like and hit the subscribe button. That helps us out a lot too, and it's free. We also have a Buy Me Coffee if you want to support us that way. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video. Bye everybody. Bye guys.